We're here. Hey man, no free sponsors, you know, like that. What's going on? You know what time it is. Savagetalks live, impromptu than that car, why not? Got a bit of time. And one client cancelled. The boys are playing clubs at 7:30, 7:30. So yeah, we got an hour. So I thought I'll just chop up with you guys. What's everyone saying? How is everybody doing? Everybody taking care of themselves? Something light. Something light, man. How we doing? Sort of fucking lighting out, mate. You know, like that. Blending into the background and that, bro. Man like Enzo Nino, Morris, Gary. You know the vibes. Hope everyone's well, man. Yeah, man. You see the title of the video, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I just needed the title to the video. I need to make a thumbnail, bro. So the title's not fake. It is a story, but I don't care too much. But we will talk about it. You know what I mean? Chop it for a little piece and that. You know, like that. But I find it very interesting. And I'll be honest, man, I'm not even trying to get onto WWE too much. I just think it's interesting because it's something I thought about prior to seeing the news story of WWE turning into AI for creative. Now, when I first thought about this, obviously it weren't some genius move like, oh, Savage, you thought about AI. No, I didn't think about it first. When I first thought about this was when WWE first introduced Al Americano or Al Grande Americano to the WWE, because when they put his first video package up, it was very clear to me that they changed the route they normally go down and was using an AI video package, which I enjoyed because it gave them scope to be able to do things they couldn't do before. And I was like, oh, maybe they'll use this in the future now. Al Americano's character is a bit down the comedy route, but to be fair, it worked out pretty well. So I didn't mind it. I think it was showing him in the past lucha wrestling, in like the early 40s and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty cool. And then I can't say that I've noticed too much that they've used since then, although NXT do tend to do stuff like that as well now. Let's not all jump to conclusions because it's in the title of the video. The initial reaction is, oh my god, they're trash. How come they're using... Listen, man, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be using ChatGPT and stuff like that because obviously us fans can just go on use the same product and then type in the same thing. So yeah, I get everyone's gonna have a laugh and all that stuff, but I'm being serious. Like, we'll be able to type in the same things and see where they got the thing. I think they're gonna use it sparingly. And on this news article, it was basically down they're gonna use it when it comes to designs, video packages, stuff like that, which I think is good. I think it could have been used in the past as well. Probably saved WWE some money when it came to characters like The Undertaker, especially when it came to characters like Bray Wyatt and the Firefly Funhouse. I can imagine if it was around. I mean, AI's been around for years and years, like decades, bro. But the layman's only just started to use it now, and the products have been starting to come out to the forefront. A lot of things now, though, is anything that's very accessible to the regular public means that it's already behind and they're already advancing what they're doing. So all these little Sora videos that are going around online now, everyone's having fun with it, but people will be bored of it very soon. We're already like, what we say, like a week and a half into this WWE videos, Tupac and Biggie's and stuff like that, and Martin Luther King and all that. I'm telling you, bro, like we got about a week left before everyone's bored of it. Like it's short. It's just short life thing you expect to see when it comes to these kind of things now. So the problem is when everyone can use AI, then AI is not special. I hope everyone's taking in what I'm saying because I could sound like I'm waffling, but if everybody's using it, then it doesn't become special, it becomes normal. If it becomes normal, then we're back where we started. And the whole point is you're supposed to be separating yourself from the pack. You WWE, yes, you've got the head start on everybody, 50 plus years head start in the wrestling business. WWE's competitors are not the wrestling business, it's other entertainment, forms of entertainment, sports, TV shows, things that are trying to take up their primetime slot. So probably good for them to get ahead of it anyway, just because everything's heading that way. I think a lot of people, including myself at times, can be resistant to things that are about to change. Um, for companies, they can't afford to be resistant. Us fans can, but yeah, they can't afford to. I'll get to your comments in this as well. First, obviously, big honesty. See, this is what I'm saying, man. Like, I feel like people are not thinking like, why are they lazy using AI? Bro, it's a tool that surely yourself has probably used. Like, I don't. It's not lazy using AI because AI is available. Like, I don't know how people think they're getting through their everyday life, but there's AI in most things that you don't even realize. It's just that now everyone's using the term AI, and it's like, oh my god, this artificial intelligence is gonna take all our jobs. It's been around, bro. It's been around. You think that it's humans making cars still? You don't think that there's humans with tools in a warehouse screwing up the cars together, bro? No, the humans are, the AI is doing most of the work, and the humans are being aided, bro. Same with surgery and stuff like that. What do you think that you think that all the surgeons are doing everything by hand, bro? You think when man are messing with neurons in man's head and that, bro, and it's, you know, the neurons are thinner than a piece of hair. You don't think that it's man them using their hands, bro? Nah, bro, they're calculating stuff to do that, bro. You think NASA are using humans to? What we're doing here, bro? You think that the James Webb Telescope and all that, and bro, come on, man. If anything, it's everyone else being lazy, not realizing what's going on. It's not lazy to use it. It's lazy if they let them take over everything. If they let, oh yeah, so we're not going to do anything today. We're going to turn up. We're going to type in AI, and whatever they give us, that's what we're going to use. That's lazy. The humans still have to import what they need to import and prompt certain things. Maybe it's the structure they're going to use. I think art doesn't need AI because art is completely subjective anyway. And the fun of art is to come up with stuff yourself. The funny thing is when I get into this article, for the people who have got an issue with it, which I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong, but I'm going to let you know, saying that they're lazy about to use AI, they've been using it. So this article is about what's already there. That's what I'm saying. It's about what's already there. So I think people are being, if I'm honest, being pretty small-minded. Although no one's completely wrong or right in this, I feel like everyone just jumps to conclusions and don't even look at what's being used. Because if I'm pretty sure that what I read before, and I'll find it in a minute, there was a moment that WWE used AI already, and I think it's the same. I think it's the same company, which happened a while ago. I don't even know if it was like when Vince was there or when Vince had left. It wouldn't have been that. It was about a year and a half ago. So it wasn't when Vince was there. And I remember there was apparently like was it Insider or something that were not complaining, but they were saying that the use of AI at the moment isn't up to speed. It's a little bit awful because the AI was booking a storyline for Bobby Lashley when Bobby Lashley's not in the company anymore, so it couldn't have been that long ago. But I'll get to the article because I'm pretty sure the creative was based around booking a story. Well, it wasn't booking it. It was writing a storyline that Bobby Lashley went to Japan or went on a trip to Japan and came back obsessed with Japanese wrestling and something of that. They didn't put the full details in there. I think if we go off what, like, think of this seriously now, and what I'll do is I'll get the roster up in a minute and I'll just pick out like a couple of random wrestlers and then we'll go through what their storylines are, and then you tell me that how using AI is going to be more lazy than what they're already doing. When what they're already doing, how can you be more lazy than repeating yourself every week? That's the true scope of it. How can you be more lazy than that? Let me tell you. All right. So, WWE has a contract with Writer AI. So obviously, before anyone thinks in my thumbnail that I wrote it the wrong way around, no, that's the company in it. So WWE has a contract with Writer AI, a platform which has already been fed WWE content. Cyrus Kazari was hired last month as a new senior director of creative strategy. He had previously been producer of BuzzFeed 2016 to 2022, and for one the MMA company from 2022 until last month. He was introduced to the creative team and creative staff by Paul Levesque. Introducing him, Levesque said Kazari would lead WWE's transition into AI-based storytelling, and integrate AI into the creative services like video and graphics. Okay, that's the most important part, because obviously if it's creating the whole storyline, yeah. He said that this shift is inevitable when it comes to creative in pro wrestling. I agree with the fact that it's inevitable because AI is inevitable. So for example, if we are to say that like people like me, content creators, who are resistant to AI completely, you're fine if you're already established as a content creator and you don't need to. But if you're up and coming as a content creator now and you're trying to do something that's been done already, when AIs come out, you're gonna be miles ahead. I mean, you're gonna be miles behind. You're not gonna be able to compete. How are you supposed to compete with AI when someone has to sit down and think of ideas and write throughout a whole day, 2 days, and have a regular job? When you can just prompt AI to do something, it's gonna give it you back in a minute. You can't beat it, bro. You won't be able to beat it for speed. You could beat it for creativity because it's subjective, but you've got one brain. AI is gonna search the whole internet for things around that genre. They're gonna be able to check the analytics of what goes well and what doesn't go well, what kind of titles to use, what titles not to use, what colors to use, what not to use, while you're just sitting there with your regular brain, stressed out, fat, no girlfriend, getting cheated on or cheating on someone and working and trying to come up with ideas. Brother, the AI is gonna screw, bro. The AI is gonna mash you up, bro. So, not saying that you have to go full-fledged there, but you need to get used to it, bro. Otherwise, you will get left behind, bro. This is what happened when the internet started. When man were on AOL and all that, bro, and everyone was reading. You remember when, you probably don't remember, depending on how old you are in the chat, bro, but there was a point where every household didn't have a computer because it was expensive. And then there was a part where people started to get computers, but everyone didn't have the internet. Then man were going through AOL dial-up. Then Google was taking over. Ask Jeeves was done. And people are talking about, nah, I want to still go to the library. Now, listen, if you're going there for recreational purposes, keep going to the library. I think there's something beautiful about keeping that human element to yourself, going and researching. But do you think that that book in the library, that will never be updated because it's just there, and you have to wait for the author to write another book, which is going to take 2 more years, can compete with Google? You're reading some, oh yeah, I read a study published in 1997, section A says that. Meanwhile, Google just updated, yeah, a study what was done in 2025. Brother, you're missing, bruv. So, get left behind, bro. That's just how it's gonna be. Kazari said he would both manage AI storytelling and be the liaison to the White House, as Levesque is taking more duties in politics in some form. I don't care about that politics business. Triple H, you need to stick to wrestling. Thus far, AI software has come up with what one person with knowledge of the situation called absurdly bad storylines. This is what I was talking about. They pitched a storyline where Bobby Lashley, who the AI thought was still with the company, could come back as a wrestler who was obsessed with Japanese culture and history. The feeling is that once the bugs are worked out, the AI will begin to have major impacts on storylines and directions. Another promotion previously tested out AI for creative help and suggestions, and found it couldn't understand pro wrestling and storylines. Okay, so they're trying to work out the kinks. Pause for that. Not the kinks as in kinky community, but that's normal that people are gonna have to work out the bugs now. Them saying that the AI didn't understand pro wrestling is because it's a particular AI with this particular company. All the AIs that's available to us in the public now can work out pro wrestling. If I went on ChatGPT now, I think I'm on 4.0 or something like that. If I said write me a storyline and give prompts of certain wrestlers and stuff like that, it will come back straight away and tell me what's going to happen. So it's not going to take them long to sort out that kink. Yes, the AI thought Bobby Lashley was still in the company. Is that a big deal? Well, let me tell you something. If not really, because the AI is going to go off what they find through the internet. AI doesn't come up with stuff that doesn't already exist. It comes up with stuff that already exists. So it scours the internet and makes things off that. So if you think Bobby Lashley's in the company, yeah, it's in AEW, but if WWE take long to update something on their platform, the alumni section or whatever, then the AI is going to think it's still in the company. How much? It's not really a big deal, is it? The storyline still remains the same. You just don't use Bobby Lashley. So for me, I find it very interesting. I hope they use AI correct way. That's my only problem because the company has been lazy lately. You're not making sense though. Like if the company's been lazy already, like isn't at this point isn't any change welcome? Like they've not been doing stuff well for a long time, man. Like if I didn't do this, I mean, if you like didn't read the article or if you didn't see this video and WWE started to change stuff and it was like picked up a little bit and you didn't know it was AI, you would have no comment on it. So like, I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna bring the roster up. And I'm not gonna go through every single wrestler. Was it okay? SmackDown. Oh yeah, fucking that's Friday. And I keep forgetting SmackDown on tonight. All right, this should be interesting. Just a gateway into what we're already talking about. So we share this. Hopefully, you didn't get any. You know what I mean? Any of them videos off them, but trust me. All right. So this is the current roster, Oh, no, that background still. You know what I'm saying? It's not time for that. Let's get back there. All right. This is the current WWE roster. Let's just prove that there's change needed. Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champion. Does Cody Rhodes currently have a storyline? He doesn't have a storyline, bro. He doesn't have one. The last match he just had was against Seth where he lost for a ring. He doesn't have a storyline. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Seth Rollins, he has a storyline. Safe. But apparently he's injured, so. Stephanie Vakia, no storyline. Tiffany Stratton, well, she had that match already, the triple threat match with Nia and Jade Cargill, so no storyline. Dominic Mysterio is the Intercontinental Champion and the AAA Champion. His storyline, well, I'll tell you what his storyline is. He's having, well, he's finished his storyline with AJ, and his storyline is that Rusev keeps coming down to the ring. Sami Zayn, no storyline, open challenge. Becky Lynch, she's going to wrestle Maxine Dupree, okay. Julia, United States Champion, no storyline. I'm proving a point here, bro, and I know I'm right. JD McDonough and Finn Balor, no storyline. The Wyatt Six, no storyline. Charlotte and Alexa, who are going to fight on SmackDown, no storyline. Okay, so just to prove my point again, they have no storyline. There's no listen, you lot can correct me. I mean, you're gonna be wrong, but you can try correct me. I just read out the champions. There's no, out of all these champions, anyone? There's 11 champions there, and Seth has a story. 11 champions, and Seth has a story. Not to mention, this United States Championship from Julia has never been defended at a pay-per-view. Becky Lynch, I mean, seemingly she was in a feud with AJ Lee. Doesn't exist anymore. Sami Zayn's doing open challenges. Alexa and Charlotte are about to fight Sol Ruka and Zarya, NXT. Wyatt Six just fight tag teams. Which they should be doing. There's no story. Finn Balor and JD do the same thing. Stephanie McKee's had the title. She's had one. She ain't even defended it, has she? Has she defended it? Ain't that her first match? What she just had? It's crazy. I can say Dom's storyline is he calls himself King of the Luchadors by winning. No. What's the story? What's the story? That's not a story saying that you're the King of the Luchadors, bro. Because if that's the case, Stephanie Vakia's got a storyline because she calls herself La Primera. And Tiffany's got a storyline because it's Tiffy's time. But that's not a storyline, bro. No, that's what I said. Was it? That's all the only match she's had as a champ. That's it. Not technically it wasn't a defense. It just wasn't a defense. That's it. It just wasn't a defense. There's no technical about it. It just wasn't one. She just fought somebody else and then got a big belt. It's kind of crazy still because, like, I sound mad arrogant when I talk about this stuff, bro. But I just sit down thinking about these things, and everyone always wants to like combat what I'm saying and that, and it's fine. But that, bro, literally, we just went through that. How quick? How quick? Now, this is what could happen. To one of your point about AI being tracked, we could be rubbish, bro. You could say to AI, write me a script. Write me a storyline spanning over, let's be kind, we'll do 3 months, and one of them will have a pay-per-view. So we'll say, write me a storyline spanning over 13 weeks for the current world heavyweight champion, world champion Stephanie Vikia, including, you pick whatever name wrestlers. This storyline should have blah, blah, blah. I need it structured for this many promos. It should contain this, and this. Brother, it's going to come back better than what they've been doing, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, it's going to swap the internet. I'm sure everyone will start talking about it over the next couple of days. But, yeah, it's in one of those modes there where, in general, I'll be like, WWE shouldn't need AI. But you should be able to use it as a tool. And as I said, from what Triple H said as well, or Paul Levesque, they'll be using it for designs and video. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing because depending on how good the AI is, there's scope to not leave the building and save money. The problem I have with WWE is they don't leave the ring, bro. Like, they don't leave the arena. If their problem is that they think that something's going to happen when they leave the arena, okay, but if we don't need you to wrestle out there, then okay, we'll use AI. Use AI. Simply. Then all of a sudden you got storylines where, I don't know, bruv. Tiffany Stratton, she's like legally blonde. She's a Barbie girl, isn't it? So there's loads of different things you can do. It's dark, man. Honestly, you're just asking me what I just asked you, blood. I just said the same thing about Sammy. I just went through every wrestler, bro. He just does open challenges, which the thing is with Sammy at the moment, if everything else on the roster was story driven, Sammy doing an open challenge for the mid-card title isn't even that bad. You know why it's not that bad? John Cena did the same thing, and nobody was complaining about it. Now, the difference is John Cena, you can't do it every single week forever. Because it's just a bit dead, isn't it? Solo, when that's back now, really, Solo should be trying to take the title off him. But a couple open challenges because Sammy's storyline is... okay. Just me sitting here. Sammy doing a storyline for his US title with an open challenge simply should be on Raw before he come over to SmackDown. Everyone kept saying he's not good enough to be the WWE champion. He will never be the WWE champion. Sammy should start questioning himself about how good he actually is and where he's gone wrong. And now he's captured the US title. He's on a mission to prove how good of a wrestler he is and that he can beat all newcomers. So then he takes on all these different people. Then he beats them. He goes through and he beats them, and then he comes up against a challenger that he shouldn't beat. Then when he beats that guy, you get me? Then we move on from there, and then he should graduate, which I don't want him to, but then you graduate from the US title to the WWE title, and then you fall short. And then when he falls short, the story then is, well, Sammy, you proved yourself to the people who are the same size as you. You prove yourself to the people that are in that range, to the NXT guys, to the people who are new on the roster, to the developmental, but you couldn't prove yourself when it comes to the big leagues, bro. You're not ready. Then you get the downfall of Sammy again, bro. And he builds his way up. That's what, and then you just end up with a Daniel Bryan type character, bro. Sammy, it even as myself, yeah, I don't even like the fact of how I talk about Sami Zayn, bro, because I feel rude, man. Sami Zayn's a great wrestler, and only a year and a half ago, a little bit longer maybe, Sami Zayn was a part of my favorite part of wrestling, which was the Bloodline, and he was integral. He wasn't even a side piece to that. Like, when Sami was full-fledged in the Bloodline, you'd argue that he was just as entertaining or more entertaining than Jimmy and Jay. I mean, if you looked at it, it would have been Roman number one, of course, then Jay, then Sami, then Jimmy, then Solo. Or you can switch him around and go Sami second. Sami was great, bro. Everything revolved around him. The way he got himself into the Bloodline by trying to help him out when they didn't ask for his help. Then he did that thing in the production truck. Then they brought him in, but Jay didn't trust him because he's not family. Then he won Jay over. Then Solo didn't like it worked. Paul didn't like him. Roman got to grips with him. Then he became a full-fledged Sami Uso. They ripped off the t-shirt. They gave him the t-shirt. Tribal Court. Then he didn't like the way he was being treated, but he stuck with it. Then his real best friend, Kevin Owens, gets involved. And he doesn't want to turn on Kevin, but he does. He has the War Game match. Haluva kick. Kevin Owens holds him. Does the D for Roman, but Roman doesn't appreciate it. You go Royal Rumble, but then Roman takes it too far and handcuffs him and handcuffs Kevin and wants him to beat the shit out of him. It was great. It was great. And the story was perfect. It even ended perfect. Now, don't get me wrong. Once they won the titles, it sucked after that. Once him and Kevin won the titles, everything sucked after that. But it worked out perfect. Then you're supposed to progress from that moment on. And there was no progression. And then what they did is they built Sami to go and fight Gunther. But the build was terrible. And the build that Gunther had, I mean, what Sami had for Gunther, they gave Jay the same build the year after. Now, Jeffrey, I don't agree with you on that. Sami didn't low-key save the Bloodline. The Bloodline was fine. But he definitely enhanced the Bloodline. So I'm not being rude to what you're saying, but he didn't. The Bloodline, when Sami joined the Bloodline, they weren't failing. Like, the story was perfect with Jay and Roman and Jimmy. It's perfect. And them taking over the roster. But he did, like, and to be fair to them, they brought him in, he didn't, you know what I mean? So, him coming in, the story was elevated. It was elevated to new levels that we didn't, to the point where we're watching it and we're going, is this Bloodline storyline the greatest of all time? Now, I'm not trying to argue with people because it's still details and it's, but if somebody says the initial Bloodline, not the part where Roman had already lost the title and we got that etchy bit after, and to be fair, the final year from like WrestleMania 39, because Roman only turned up about 12 times after that anyway. WrestleMania 39 when he beat Cody, you could argue that the year after that was a bit meh. Some good stuff in there, but you had like Jay and Cody teaming up and all that. But up until WrestleMania 39, and then take away the year, and then start using the end of the year to the beginning of 2024, that was like, if somebody says that's the greatest storyline of all time, I'm not going to argue with it. Whether you think it is or not, I'm not going to argue with it. If someone says was it the greatest, one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, I'm not going to argue with it. I mean, my guy didn't end up on the right side of that, but I'm not going to argue with it. Because it was Avengers level, bro. It was Endgame level. The troops came out. Taker, Cena, The Rock, Roman, Cody, Seth, the Usos, Kevin, Sami. Yeah, everyone was there, bro. Mama Rhodes. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Samantha Irvine on the mic. Commentary was great. It was now, don't get me wrong. Everyone does have a sort of memory when it comes to WrestleMania 40, because the lead up to WrestleMania 40 was kind of meaty still. But obviously not with The Rock and Cody. But the rest of everything else was a bit shit. Ain't gonna lie. Cool, man. Anyway. Big Ol' Honestly said, even the small details with Sami and Roman, when Roman was cussing him, telling, I'm going to embarrass you in front of your family, was great. Oh my God. Roman talking to Sami's wife at Elimination Chamber, Toronto. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. So, all I'm saying is, man, I don't like the fact that I talk about Sami like that, and I'll be honest in it. I apologize. But what I won't apologize for is not liking it. I don't dislike Sammy. I dislike the creative used for Sammy, and I don't believe that every wrestler, even though they all should aspire to be WWE champion, I don't believe that every wrestler should be WWE champion. It should be held for the upper echelon, for the best of the best. Now, Sammy might be the best of the best when it comes to wrestling, but if your character's not going to be there, I ain't interested. Now, we've had people, it's supposed to be the heavyweight championship. Yeah, heavyweight, 250 plus. Them man there, bro. Like, it needs to be believable. Now, people slip through the cracks early doors on it. You get me? Smaller people, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, they got in there in it. And then obviously in the latter years when the steroids and all that stopped and that Finn Balor and all that universe talk, I hear all of that. But it was the certain guys in it. And there was enough of them on the roster. Now you got people like Cody and that. By the way, Cody's not like in terms of physique, he's not a small guy. I know he looks smaller than some people on the TV. That's because they're bigger people, bro. Like if you go and stand next to Cody or see him, he ain't a small guy. So yeah, man, I feel like it's a welcome change, but they can't rely on it. Now, there's been talk about them helping Road Dogg out on SmackDown or whatever because creative. You would say it's too late, but it can never be too late with WWE considering it's not going to stop in it. It's episodic TV. It's always going to come out. So, yeah, very interesting. But honestly, said some wrestlers are great mid-card champions. Chris Jericho, great IC champ. Yeah, and to be fair, when Chris Jericho won the Undisputed title when he beat The Rock and Austin on the same night, he was fine. But, like, for me, the thing is, Sammy can win the title, but it's just not going to be a long run and it's not going to be memorable, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell you, this is crazy. People are going to disagree with me and it's fine. When Jinder Mahal won the title, I wasn't even that mad at it, bro. You know why? Because the three-man band Jinder Mahal could never win the title, bro. The one that came back, who had been working on his physique and stuff like that, looked like a champion, bro. He looked like a horrible heel. His physique had changed. He looked stronger. I'm not sure about the finishing move, the Colossus. It was a bit weak, but he was fine. His promos were good. It's just that the wrestling fans had changed on it. I don't think they took to him. He would have probably worked 10 years earlier, and the Miz has been champion before. Fought John Cena and R-Truth and all these people. The Miz for me is someone who definitely can be champion but shouldn't be the champion. But Intercontinental title Miz, Intercontinental title Dolph Ziggler, Intercontinental title Daniel Bryan. Beautiful, bruv. Beautiful. You don't need to be, when the Miz, the last time he was Intercontinental, actually not the last time because they did that weird thing where like 3 people had the title. There was like Nakamura and all that. But you know when he had the white title and he was like, it was the Raw anniversary and he was on both rosters and he went and he got beat up by the Club and DX and all that stuff. The Miz leading up to that, and I think he was the longest reigning champion at the time. That Miz was the coldest, bro. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, the Miz versus Dolph Ziggler with Maurice. That Miz and Maurice couple was cold, bro. The Miz and Mizdow was cold, bro. All mid-card stuff. The Miz versus Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Cold match, bro. Cold match, bro. Cold. I remember Cody's IC. In fact, I think Cody Rhodes. Listen, Cody Rhodes, it's a love-hate relationship simply because I actually think Cody's great for the company. I think he is good. He's got the face to be the face of the company. Kids like him and all that stuff. But if I had to pick the roster myself, and you gave me the roster and said, you need to pick 10 people, 10 might be too much by the way, but whatever. 10 people to go in each section, so 10 US, 10 Intercontinental title, 10 champion. Brother, now everyone's going to say I'm crazy, but I'm putting Cody in the Intercontinental title slot. But as a great champion. Now, before anyone gets onto me, Mr. Perfect didn't win the title. Rick Rude didn't win the title. Razor Ramon didn't win the title. Scott Hall didn't win the title, bro. So it's not like I'm saying that's crazy. Some of the greatest of all time never won that title, bro. And it's fine. It's fine, bro. Real Morris said maybe Heath needed that change at the time too. Go away, come back, but he was just a jobber. Yeah. I mean, I guess the biggest compliment you can give Jinder Mahal is nobody's telling these people to go away and change. You have to decide to go away and change. So Jinder went away, and I mean, big up Heath Slayer stuff because I like him, but the three-man band ended up being like one of the worst factions, coming out with air guitars and leather trousers, and then you get Jinder and Drew in the latter years changed their physique completely changed their physique. They were all like skinny fat before, and looked like monsters, and both had WWE titles, bro. Which there's no way anybody would have ever thought that. Now, don't get me wrong. When he was Drew Galloway in TNA fighting Bobby Lashley, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, if he comes back to WWE, he's gonna work his way up there. And WWE probably dropped the ball on a few people. Like for example, I thought Adam Cole, Bay was gonna be the next Shawn Michaels. Now, not in the same way, but similarity is there. The work rate in the ring, the great matches, the promos. Because let's be honest, Shawn Michaels wasn't incredible at promos, and he was Adam Cole. But then when I saw how small he was compared to the other wrestlers on the roster, like, you know what? If you're the champion in NXT, your next graduation shouldn't be the WWE title. It probably should be the US or Intercontinental title. Because the US or Intercontinental title is bigger than the NXT title. And I think Adam Cole would have been a great Intercontinental champion, bro. I think he would have been great. Yeah, honestly, that's true about Ultimate Warrior. They remember him for that yellow title. Well, he's not. He's finished in AEW at the moment, and he's got that mad injury. So, by the way, I'm not, and this isn't pandering, by the way, because I don't give a shit. It's not body shaming, and I'm just saying that some people are smaller physiques to others, and that's just normal. And that's fine, because if you don't want to change your body, that's fine. You just can't be put in a heavyweight division. And before anyone said it's getting onto them, you think you can do that in UFC, bro? You think that, like, Demetrius Johnson, like Mighty Mouse, can go and fight John Jones? You can't, bro. You can't. It's just normal. And if you want to present it as a real sport, then present it as a real sport. And WWE did this before. When they brought out 205 Live for the Cruiserweight Championship, what was the rules on 205 Live? Every 205 Live, they would weigh Buddy Murphy. They would weigh him to make sure he was 205. Because obviously he looked like physically that he was, like he looked like a heavyweight, bro. Have you seen the guy? That's why he dates Rhea Ripley. He's not tall in height like that, but he has to be like that to date Rhea Ripley because she's built up, bro. And it was 205 Live, bro, and you couldn't fight for that title unless you hit that. You couldn't fight for it, bro. You had people like Neville, Tony Nese, Buddy Murphy. These people, great shape, bro. Great shape. But then you also had Tozawa and that down there as well. And it worked out perfect, bro. Enzo and that. I didn't think it was a problem. When I was growing up watching wrestling, there was a cruiserweight title and there was a light heavyweight title. Jamie Noble and all that. Nydia. You get me? Tajiri. That's how it should be, bro. 205 Live, you get me? It's crazy. Nah, he shouldn't have been in there based on the weight, but obviously based on the roster, nobody cared about him on the roster like that, so that's why he was there, innit? But I remember when Tony Nese was champion? Cold, bruv. He used to do running Nese. I'm saying, man, like, some stuff have to evolve and some things have to change and people like me have to accept it, I guess. But sometimes things are already there and you've changed them and you didn't need to. And I think that stuff like 205 Live, not that the show was good, because it was a lot of, like, Grand Metalik and all that, like, loads of luchas. But the title, the Cruiserweight title, hey, there weren't nothing wrong with that. There's loads of things you can do to fix the roster, bro. You might want to get rid of that US title for the women, though. And it sounds rude. I'm not trying to be rude. Get rid of it, bro. Like, get rid of it. Like, it's not been defended on the pay-per-view. So clearly you don't care about it either. So yeah, man. I don't think there's a problem. Yeah, the Cruiserweight title, you just go back to the original one, the gold one. That was fine. Remember, they had the Cruiserweight title on WCW as well. A lot of the US title on WWE came with that same roster as well. So I don't think there's a problem with that. Now, on NXT to have the North American title. Funny enough, there's still so many women on the roster not doing anything, and there's more than enough titles for the women. If I had it again, I know I brought this up before, but if you scour the internet and look through any of my videos, I was the main driving force behind the women's getting extra titles, bro. But when I said it, I didn't think they were gonna give us a US title, an Intercontinental title, and a tag team title. Now I'm like, with all due respect, if you get rid of the women's tag team titles, nobody would notice. Now the problem is, it's gonna come across rude now. Oh yeah, but if you ask most of them women, they don't want to be tag teams anyway because they're not in a tag team. Women wrestlers don't get into wrestling to be in a tag team because women's tag teams haven't always existed like that, bro. Like in WWE, it's a new concept in it. Came around like COVID, Sasha Banks, Bayley. So like, there's no tag teams. You got rid of them. The tag teams that were there, Isla Dawn and by the way, I'll big up Isla Dawn. So she just debuted on Ring of Honor with the Grizzly veterans. But yeah, you had like Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, Caden and Carter. She just made her debut on AEW as well. Let's say Caden and Carter, Chance and Carter. I mean, I'm going through the tag team champions that haven't been put together. By the way, like the ones that actually tag. That's it. There's no more tag teams. The Iconics. That's it. There's like three of them. Everything else is like, oh, we're friends. Let's get together. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. What was the little lesbian group called, man? What are they called, man? The Pure Fruity Collection. The Pure Fruity Collective. Yeah, man. The Pure Fruity Collective, bro. The lesbian gang. Just what I'm saying. It sounds harsh, but I think if I sat down with a WWE champion, if I sat down with any WWE wrestler and was gonna have an honest conversation, and they knew I was coming from a good place, they would know that I'm right, bro. Because there's only there's two answers for it. If they disagree with me, then that means they agree that the creative's trash. If they agree with me, go from there. Because if there's women who are coming from like gymnastic backgrounds and stuff that WWE with the WWE ID program went and collected, but there's women there that actually wanted to be wrestlers as kids, and for those women, none of them were getting into it going, I can't wait to be a tag team. But they want to be the women's champion. The roster's down. Like, let me. Oh, they don't even separate in women and men because I guess it's fucking. Do they? You know, I get, bro, they won't even separate the men and the women on the roster, bro. Like, what's going on here, man? Let me bring this back up. I ain't gonna go through all of them though, because there's too many, bro. Alright, let's do this a minute. Okay, you lot can see it perfect. Alright. First of all, I don't know where AJ Lee is. So, whatever. Alba Fire's in it. Well, big up Piper Niven, because I think she's had some injury problems in it. Some really serious problems, actually. I don't want to speak on it because I don't know. But I know it's supposed to be really bad, so. Okay. Alba Fire. Before, I don't like Alba Fire because I don't like her character on it. But Alba Fire in NXT UK was the champion, bro. I remember, bro. Alright. Just had to get that out there. Alright, there's Alexa Bliss, Oscar, B-Fab, Bailey, Bianca. The reason I'm not counting Becky because she already got a title. Oh, this is long. This is long. Let me just go to the SmackDown and Raw one because this is terrible, bro. Let's go Raw. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What the fuck? Did that just glitch, bro? Nah, WWE, don't do that to me, bro. I'm trying to count, bro. You motherfuckers, bro. Alright, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, although counting Nikki, whatever. 12, 13, 14, and then Zoe's out. Okay, there's 4. Okay, just on Raw, there's 14 women. 14, 1, 4. So there's an Intercontinental title and WWE title on there, which means at any given time, unless we're doing triple threats, 4 people are going to be taken out. Given it, the champion's there, the competitor, and then the same with the Intercontinental title. Then there's 10 other women just floundering around, bro. So you have to make stories. You have to make stories. Let's go to SmackDown. Remember that number, 14, and I was kind because I included Nikki Bella in it. I think SmackDown has less women if I'm correct. All right. Hold on a minute. Didn't Alba Fyre just turn up on the other roster? Oh, am I tripping? I don't want him to trick me out my position here. Okay. Oh, no, it didn't. All right. All right, Alexa, Alba, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 9? Oh my god. This thing is glitching, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so there's 15 women. There's 15 women on the SmackDown roster, and there's 14 women on the Raw roster, bro. That's 29 women, bro. How can we, if you don't write stories, they're screwed, bro. They're screwed because we take out 4 for the Women's Championship, the Intercontinental Championship. That will take out 4 women there in any given time. Then we'll need the Tag Team Championship, which is 6 women now, and then another 2 to fight them. So that's 4 more just out of that. That's 8 women altogether now, what we're on. Then you got the US title. That's 10 women. Then you got the championship. So that's 12. There's 12 women. Bruv, you still got the rest of the roster, bro. Well, you had 12 women, you still got 17 women to do stuff with. What we doing here? Now, don't get me wrong, I get it with the tag teams. I guess you can group up some women and then they can go for the tag team titles as well. Even if I'm nice to them and I'll take 2 more away to make the tag team ones triple threat. Okay, you got 15 women left. Now what? Now what? There's 15 women flailing around doing nothing week in, week out. And you got a few injuries in there and stuff like that. No wonder they keep grouping together like Nia Jax and Tiffany all the time because they don't know how to book it, so they just keep adding more people on. My point of this is, because I'm calm, bro. This isn't to get onto WWE because I've made enough videos now. I'm trying to be more positive, but I'm also not going to lie. I mean, Morris, I don't know why you got your fingers crossed about it, because I just told you there's 15 women doing nothing, and you want more women on the roster, bro. Bro, they're not doing anything with the women they've already got, bro. You think I want to see them mess up Jada Parker, bro? Mess up Sol Ruka? Nah, bruv. I don't want to see that. Stop adding people to the roster. Stop bringing more people into the company until you fix the company, bro. You know what this is the equivalent of, bro? This is like, WWE is like Chelsea, bro. Like Chelsea Football Club last season. Chelsea Football Club last season, at the start of the season, had 47 players, bro. You can only have a 23-man squad. They had 47 players, bro. Talking about Sterling and that ain't playing. 47. So, okay, so we're going to use 23 and we're going to have 4 goalkeepers, bro. Now what? 19 other players, 11 on the pitch. You can only have 9 subs at a time. What about the rest of the players, bro? What about the other 24 players, bro? You know what happened to those players? Released, sold, released, sold. WWE, come on, more. Bring more players, bro. Bring more players, bro. Big up. Love for basketball. It doesn't make any sense, bro. And I don't understand how people can't realize it, but it is what it is, man. Big up Ends said you can have a rest from Raw and SmackDown, create a faction, do crossovers where they fall in and not getting shots, the title, and just attacking the champions till they get a shot. I agree. I think they probably need to end the brand split. But the only problem they've got with ending the brand split now is they've got too many titles. And I just can't see them turning up one day and just getting rid of the titles. You need something to happen. Maybe you need something to happen in a storyline to get rid of the titles. But I don't know how. Because now you've gone and booked yourself into a problem. With all due respect to the women on the roster, they deserve everything they get in a positive way. But the way the world is, if you go and just get rid of all these women's titles, there's going to be backlash in it. Because you're getting more women watching wrestling now than what they had before. So, yeah, it's darkness, man. It's darkness, bro. We don't even know what's going on now. We just had Crown Jewel. And the concept for Crown Jewel is the Survivor Series concept, where they started to have champion versus champion. So now what do we do for Survivor Series? Now you've already had Seth versus Cody. Now what? Now you've already had Stephanie versus Tiffany. Now what? You're gonna put them all in a war games and add on extra people for no reason, with no story. For the people who don't remember or didn't watch wrestling, the initial WWE Survivor Series wasn't about champion versus champion. But what it was, when they had the traditional 5-on-5, they had babyfaces and heels on it. That most teams were, one team was full of babyfaces, one team was full of heels. How did they get to them matches? Well, I'll tell you what happened. One of the people in the heel team had a problem with one of the people in the babyface team. And number 2 in the heel team had a problem with number 2 in the babyface team. That's how it happened, didn't it? So all the people that had storylines currently separately from each other, on that one day, they would join forces to go against each other, bro. The reason why WWE don't do that anymore? Because there's no storylines, bro. There's no storylines. Even when we had like, what was it? When we had like 2017 and that onwards, when we had flipping AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns and all them, Triple H was in one of them with, like, even those, they still had the same concept. I remember when Braun Strowman hooked up Triple H and made him cry like a baby, bro. When Shane McMahon had his team versus Kurt Angle's team. Remember Raw Under Siege, blood? Man, listen, I don't get me wrong. I know everyone keeps trying to tell me that wrestling was shit in 2017 and all that. It weren't shit. There was some shit. There was some stuff that sucked. But at least there was still some stories there, bro. Like, at this point, you're choosing between, do you want shit stories? No. Do you want stories where some are 10 out of 10s, some are 9 out of 10s, and some are 5 out of 10s? Or do you just want no stories? Make up your mind on it. Because as much as Raw Underground might have not been great, as much as the House of Horrors match might not have been great, as much as you might not have liked the burning of Sister Abigail's cabin, you might not have liked the Funhouse, you might not have liked COVID wrestling, Retribution, which I hate Retribution, by the way. You might not have liked, somebody tried to kill Roman Reigns, somebody tried to kill Enzo. You might not have liked it all, but at least there was stories, bro. And the stories made some kind of sense, bro. You had some dumb shit where, they wanted you to forget Liv Morgan turned into a lesbian one day and then she just wasn't a lesbian anymore. But at least there was a story. That's my point. And now, nothing. Nothing at all, bro. And I hope this video proved that to you, because nobody come to my chat and tell me again I'm wrong, because I just showed you, bro, with evidence. I just went through and there ain't no storylines there, bro. Could even have a match with 5 of the ladies on who lead the new faction. Then they could pick apart from the champions, end up with all the teams having a belt in their team, and no one was safe. Yeah, exactly. The problem we have at the moment isn't the stories are rubbish. The problem we have at the moment is they don't exist, bro. And WWE have to pick their poison. We know wrestling is predetermined. They really do moves to each other. It's really dangerous. It's one of the hardest sports, if not the hardest sport, to do on the planet. There's no days off for it, bro. There's no end of season. This isn't The Boys Power. Well, end of season 1 and man can have a year off. This is all the time. So I respect them in that aspect. I respect the production team, the creative in that aspect, because it's a lot to do. But if you keep making more shows for yourself and adding more people to the roster, of course it's going to be hard for you to do. Of course it is. So, I'm going to head out of here. I'm going to go play some pro clubs with the boys. It would be good to chop it up, but we're not streaming it, so it's nasty. Before we go, Morris said, if you had to choose, Sav, who would you want to be called up, seeing as it's now an emergency requirement in Jacob Fatu and Sefa down? Okay, I don't want to sit on the fence here, but it's not an emergency because as I just showed you, there's loads of people on the roster that ain't being used, bro. So it's not an emergency. The emergency is the fact that you don't need to call someone up who nobody knows on NXT when you've got people on your roster that you're not using. Like, why is it an emergency that Seth's gone down when Braun Breaker and Braun Strowman's already there? Not Braun Strowman, thingy. Like, Ozzilla's there, Braun Breaker's there. Why is it an emergency when Drew McIntyre's there? Jacob Fatu never used to exist, bro. I mean, don't they have enough Samoans, bro? Didn't we already count 23 of the fuckers, bro? We don't need any more? Jacob Fatu's down. Use Solo, bro. Solo's one of the best people on the roster. Solo's down. Use the tall Tongan. Tall Tongan's down. Use the smaller Tongan. Smaller Tongan's down. Use the fat Tongan. The Filipino one. There's no emergency. There's loads of them. There's loads of them. They got a whole fucking... Bo Dallas, bro. They can't use Bo Dallas. SmackDown have Alistair... This is just the singles people. They got Alistair Black. They got Apollo Crews. I don't know where he is. They got Carmelo Hayes, Cody, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Jimmy Uso. Kevin Owens is injured. They got Gargano. They got Ciampa. They got Montez. They got Dawkins. They got Truth. They got Randy Orton. There's Roman. Solo. All the Tongans. Sami Zayn. The Miz. Like, what emergency? How many more? Do you want me to go to Raw too? How many more people did I want, bro? AJ Styles. Tozawa. I don't know where Theory is. He's gone. Breaker. Reed. The what they called, man. The Brutus Creed and the other Creed. Chad Gable, CM Punk, flipping Fat Dog Mendoza and Del Toro, Dragon Ball Z, Alan Americano, Finn Balor, Grayson Waller, Gunter, Dragunov, Ivar, fucking JD McDonough, Pete Dunne, Otis, Rey Mysterio, Penta by the way, Rusev, but what else? Tyler Bates, Sheamus, Xavier Woods, Kofi, bro. I'm not trying to hear about no emergency, bro. They got bare people, bro. They better fix it, bro. Yeah, you don't have Randy Orton on the roster and tell me there's an emergency, bro. There's not a chance, bro. There's not a chance, bro. Even people that I don't care about. There ain't no way you got Randy Orton, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, all these men, and you're telling me that you can't do anything. Allow me. Allow me. Anyway, I'm loading up my my EA. And I hope you man are already on EA, because everyone told me 7:30, brother, and I ain't trying to wait in the lobby, blood, you know, like that. You get me? Man, I got my screen on already, blood. You know them way there. So, load up the gang. But everywhere, big up to everyone in the chat, man. It was a quick hour. Enjoy chopping up impromptu, but big up to everyone enjoying and stuff like that. You know, I never mind, man. It's always good to chop up with yous lot. Probably a few more of these where I'll just take one of the current stories, chop that up, and then we'll do regular stuff. But this was gonna be a pre-recorded one, but I knew I had an hour till I jumped with the boys to play EA, so I'd just do this on it. But yeah, what ends make up your mind, bro. Anyway, I think I don't know. End said he might have something tomorrow, but then I don't know. So End will let you lot know if there's anything tomorrow. Apart from that, Sunday watch along, Manchester United versus Liverpool. What am I watching tomorrow? Dortmund, Bayern Munich. I'm gonna watch tomorrow. But love for the love. Why is what not stream EA? Ask Enz, bro. Ask Enz. Yeah, man. It's been emotional though. You know, like that. No, man. I had fun, man. You know, like that.